What's up, everyone, and welcome to the 35th episode of the Control Freak podcast. I am your host, Alex Blackard, or at LessAlex on Twitch and Twitter. Make sure to go follow me over there. Today's episode, we have on Ron from TimeWalkTV. Ron, how you doing tonight?
Doing very well. How are you?
I am swell. As always, the podcast is sponsored by Team Solitary Pro. And, of course, all the patron members over at patreon.com/LessAlex. And I want to give a huge shout-out to the most recent patrons. They are John J., Bob P., and Joel. So thank you, everybody, for becoming a patron over there on patreon.com. And, of course, at the highest tier now, you get one free donation deck on my Twitch channel once a month. So make sure to check that out. And if you dig the content, make sure to head on over to Apple Podcasts and give me a 5-star review. It does go a long way with helping all the analytics. Yeah, no 1 stars, no 2 stars. Just, again, DM me. Tell me it's terrible. That's fine. We can chat about it in the DMs. Today's episode, though, we are going to talk about the Modern Preliminaries that just happened this week, the Pioneer Challenges, and the Pioneer Showcase. And we have a lot of new innovations with Blue Light Control and Pioneer. And I'm really excited to jump in. You ready to rock?
Let's do it, man. Let's do it.
All right. The first one we're going to talk about is the Modern Preliminary from January 25th. This first deck. So the ways these work is there's 2 5-0s. So it's not like, a winner, basically.
Mm-hmm.
So the first list is good old-fashioned, basically, this is just a prowess deck. Bedlam Reveler, Kiln Fiends, Monastery Swiftspear, Soul Scar Mages. I mean, what is your first take on this deck here by Lee Claire?
I mean, it's really, really good. I like the Crash Throughs. I think those are like really sweet with Bedlam Reveler.
Oh yeah,
and the Kiln Fiend actually, just because so you can like one shot them.
Oh dude,
pretty
Kiln
much.
Fiend's pretty insane. Yeah. In the past, these decks have been playing things like Niv Magus Elemental as well. I think Kiln Fiend's pretty freaking sweet, though, too. It's like...
Kiln Fiend is pretty sweet, because then you don't have to exile your spells.
Yeah.
Or maybe that's a different card, but...
No, that's the same card. But this one, it comes down a turn later, obviously, but it gets a little bit beefier faster, so...
Yeah, I'm surprised they don't have, like, what is it called? The... Teamer Battle Rage, like at least one of those floating around in there just because.
Yeah, just to the I gotcha factor. Yeah.
Exactly. But maybe they just have it already with all their burn spells.
Absolutely. But no, this list has kind of been in the metagame for a while. So this is something that if you're, going to your F&M or going to a GP SCG tour, this is something you definitely need to be preparing for. It's one of the better decks, I think, in Modern these days.
Mm-hmm.
So moving on to the second 5-0 list, we have EGAD 2894, also 5-0. Man, this really makes me sad. This deck is just not what I want to see in Modern. It's a Primeval Titan deck. It's basically just Amulet Titan. What, 7.0?
I mean, this is the peak Modern deck right now, basically.
Say it ain't so, but yeah, this is kind of what we were saying last week. Me and Logan were saying that this is just the cream of the crop here in Modern, and which is not good.
If you want to win, play prime times, please.
Yeah, what's worse is this deck is extremely good against Blue Light Control.
Oh yeah, because you're basically winning with lands. It doesn't even sure you can power out of like a turn 2 or 3 Titan, and then you have are they running the Field of the Deads and stuff too alongside Valakuts, or no? I know some of them do.
Oh yeah, it's
Oh, there
each
it is.
of them
yeah,
are
okay.
a one.
I was thinking.
This is
because they can just run whatever they want.
Yeah, this is a hybrid between Amulet, like traditional Amulet, and Valakut. So because of Dryad of the Elysian Grove, it turns all their things into mountains, all their lands into mountains.
Oh, that's right.
So
it gives it all the basic land types.
They just get to rock your opponent.
Oh god, my brain's gonna explode.
Right? Right?
Jeez. These guys are like on another planet right now.
It's
these
so
innovations.
brutal. It's so good. It's
jeez. So they enter all his mountains. Oh my gosh.
So many lines to just kill.
Are they running any? Doesn't look like they're running any escape shifts, but that would be really funny as like a one of in the deck. Like one escape shift and then everything's a mountain.
No, just Primeval. Primeval's
that's probably all you need. Like, don't be cute about it. Just get them dead.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, this again, I feel like a broken record, but this is just the top tier, the S tier, if you will, of modern decks at this point.
I mean, they've cut down to only one packet of negation. So I mean, like, I hate to go back a couple years, but when I played Blue White, it was like the Spreading Seas version with 4 Field of Ruin. So that might be like a thing. Yeah. I don't know. I feel like I always felt like Spreading Seas was like a really, really good card in Blue White, and then it kind of went out of favor and no one really played it anymore. But I think that would be pretty beneficial, possibly, to this deck. But
I think the problem with that is that if they play a Karoo land and bounce the thing that's already seized, they just get to replay it.
True.
I don't think that's necessarily...
They always have a way to get around everything, it feels like.
Yeah, this deck is extremely good. Fine. And they get to play Mystical Dispute in the sideboard, which is pretty ridiculous.
Yeah, 1 mana leak's pretty good, I hear.
Yeah.
I heard that once.
30 lands, though. That's insane. Like, what?
I mean, like when Field of the Dead was in Standard, they played 28, 29. Yeah. So it's not like unheard of. It's just like that whole deck's based around lands, right?
Yeah, that's true. So the 4/1s, we have good old fashioned infect here. You know, I mean, not too much craziness here.
Everything seems about the right. You have 4/1 spawn times to find your stuff, and you got your scale ups and become immenses and stuff. So,
and then of course Veil of Summer, which is just
a
house.
I'm telling you, man, they just hate blue spells. They hate blue players.
Well, no, they love blue spells. They just like making them green cards nowadays.
They like making them green cards. Exactly.
So I don't really have too much to say about Infect. You basically got to make them have their interaction not during their combat step is the best way to try and combat them.
Yep.
But
I play a lot of Infect, man. That deck is just like, get them dead. All right, they got the spell. All right, go to next game and have the protection spell or something. I don't know. You just kind of go for it.
Yeah. Moving on, though, 4/1, we have a blue-white Stoneblade deck, Lord_Beerus, 4/1. This deck is pretty stock, though. I mean, nothing crazy. We got 1 Jace, 3 Teferi Time Ravelers, 4 Ofs of Snapcaster, Spellqueller, and Stoneforge Mystic. Pretty customary here. 4 Cryptics, 3 Force, 1 Leak, 4 Opt, 4 Path, 2 Spell Snares, a Batterskull, and a Sword of Feast and Famine. And then the sideboard's pretty darn stock as well. But this is it gives me hope for modern blue-white X control / Stoneblade decks, because it's been so long. I feel like since Oko's been printed, since Eldraine, we just crickets from blue-white control in modern.
Yeah, it's tough when they can just turn their non-land permanents into 3/3s and beat you down. But I like these specific blue-white decks. I know they're not the most control-y, and I really prefer land go, which can never happen in modern. But I think those Stoneblade style decks with like spell quellers and stuff is like, it almost feels like a Delver deck, because you're just like, first 2 turns of the game, you're going to establish your mana, draw some cards, maybe counter a spell, and then suit something up and just start hopefully controlling the game from there by either bouncing stuff or countering stuff. So that's like an ideal game plan, I guess, because I played Delver a little bit, but not too much, but that feels similar.
Yeah, I mean, Delver was one of the first, I guess, competitive decks that I ever really played, so I love that deck. But, I mean, it's good to see good old-fashioned Celestial Colonnade getting some love in modern, finally. Guildgate, turn 1, go.
It's a tough life for a Celestial Colonnade anymore, man.
Yeah.
tough life out there.
So, another 4/1 list. This is actually pretty sweet. we have Sonic_Smasher playing good old Urza. This is a kind of like, what, 4-color Urza, I guess. But the main thing here is Euro Titan of Nature's Wrath as a 4-of. Oh boy.
I know, that's pretty gnarly.
So,
and I love, well, I'm not sure why it's in there. Maybe it's a better Mole Drifter if you think about it. It's a better Mole Drifter, and if you have a million, what is it? I can't think of it. The Scalding Tarns and stuff. What are they? Fetch lands.
Fetch lands. Yeah, fetch lands are a thing.
You have a ton of fetch lands. So like, you like fetch turn 1, get a goose. Fetch turn 2, do something else, and like by the time you play Earl, that goes to the graveyard plus maybe another fetch land, and you're like basically there if you're kind of interacting with your opponent a bit. So
I mean, turn 2 Euro.
Mishra's Baubles too.
Turn 2 Euro. If you don't have Emery turn 2, I feel like that's pretty nuts.
Yeah, and you have Mishra's Bauble to fill your yard too.
Yeah.
I don't think they have anything else that's like lower cost besides the Astro Blade, but they stay on the battlefield.
Yeah, and this is
I like it.
This is not the combo version either. This is just, we're trying to make big fat fatties and crush you. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just like a value Urza deck, but like there's like, we'll just run 4-ofs of all the best cards and try to beat us.
Yeah, it's like, come
That's
at me,
sweet.
bro.
It's pretty sweet. I kind of like that deck.
Yeah. This is, I've dabbled with the Urza decks, and Euro definitely seems like a cool innovation. I'm not sure if this is going to become stock in these lists, but it definitely feels like there's some power in Euro for sure.
Yeah, I need to experiment with that card a lot more in Standard. I think there's something cool you can do with a bunch of decks with it, pretty much.
Oh yeah. Moving on down the line here, Tachihino. Sorry if I'm butchering that username, but we have basically, this is Bant Snowblade.
This is the good deck. This is the good blue-white deck.
Yeah, right. You have to play green nowadays.
This is like, you have to play that. Well, I guess the Ice Fang Codals. Yeah, you got to play those.
Yeah, we have Ice Fangs and 1 Euro Titans.
Woo! Making his way into another deck.
Yeah. Modern staple.
Modern staple Euro, sure.
So we've got a card here that I'm a big fan of, specifically in Pioneer, but it's showing up here in a 4-1 list in Modern. Elspeth Sun's Nemesis. I'm a huge fan of this card, specifically in like control strategies, and it seems actually insane with swords. Being able to suit up your human soldiers and just bash face seems excellent.
Yeah, because you're gaining life, and then you can also, like, if you have an Ice Fang out and something else, you can just, pump up the jams, get in there.
Oh yeah.
Or gain some life, or you can have a lot of stuff you can do. Plus, how many fetches are they running? 4, 8. I think 8 of those, and then like 3 Field of Ruins. So like that's a lot of cards in the graveyard. Easily. Escape amount there. I think it's 5 or 6.
So that's that's the thing with Elspeth. Like she's good early. She makes blockers early, and then late and I've been saying this kind of as a joke, but it's true. She is kind of the Thanos of
she's inevitable.
She's inevitable. Eventually, if they don't like rest in peace you or deal with your graveyard in some fashion,
sure.
She will end the game.
That makes sense.
So I've liked her a lot in Pioneer. This is the first time I've seen her in Modern, which has me just I'm hyped for that. But
yeah, I think you're going to start seeing a lot more of that card for sure.
Oh, yeah.
I think everyone's kind of tiptoeing around it right now, but
no, I think it's
going to be if it's seeing play in Modern, you can definitely rest assured it's going to be in Pioneer, and then trickles way down to Standard. More so in aggressive list, in my opinion, but that's only for Standard.
Yeah. I think for my money, it's the best card in the set. Now, I know, obviously, Euro's insane. There's Underworld Breach that's nuts as well, but for my play style and what I want to do, snap keep. Like, I will take Elspeth all day. But yeah, this deck plays 2 Supreme Verdicts, a Timely Reinforcements main, some Cryptics, a couple Forces, Mana Leaks, 1 Once Upon a Time, which seems kind of random, but
that's a little odd. A little Once Upon a Time is like strange.
It's
the Mana Leaks are so It makes me feel so good about myself. At the same time, it's like, man, why are you putting yourself through that? Like that's just like, you're looking for heartbreak.
Once Upon a Time definitely feels like a card that like is a 4 or a 0 of. That being said, they went 4-1, so.
That's a very small sample size, though.
Yeah.
Considering.
And then we have Tangrams here at 4-1 with Valakut, just good old-fashioned Valakut.
And look at that. Got 2 Uros in there for little land drops.
Yep, 2 Uros. We have Dryad of the Elysian Grove, Sakura Tribe Elder, a Boreal Grazer.
I love the Grazers. Love the Grazers in this deck.
Yeah, I mean...
Like a lot. Like you can turn 1 Grazer, turn 2 Elder, turn 3 Dryad, play an extra land. Like what? What's happening right now?
Just why? And then of course Primetime's there to just crush your face in.
Sure.
Fingers crossed that you have the Path to Exile.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Bugsy 6-9 with the 4-1 with good old fashioned Dredge. This is not Crabvine. They're
running the Ox, baby.
Yeah, this is playing the
Get
Ox of Agonis. And this was a card that in the episode where Adam Cohen and I talked about Theros, we definitely pointed this out as one of the best cards in the set. So definitely nice to see.
That Ox is unreal.
Yeah, I mean, it's very good.
Unreal. Especially in that list specifically.
Oh, yeah.
What if there's like something in Pioneer to really go along with that Ox? Like I feel like there's a couple things that you could probably do. I don't know. It feels like there's something to be broken about that card in Pioneer as well. Maybe in that Treasure Cruise deck.
Yeah, that, or I mean, there is a version of Dredge, right? "Quote unquote" Dredge in Pioneer that might want it.
Yeah, because you have everything except for like the Thugs and the Stinkweed Imps.
Yeah,
right.
Everything that doesn't. Yeah, nothing with actual factual Dredge, but.
Yeah, I know. Like you have all the cards, but you don't have the good cards.
Right. You don't have the Dredgers.
Yeah.
No, I mean, this deck, obviously, Dredge is insane against blue-white. It's always been
it's hard to
very
interact,
excellent.
for sure.
Well, I mean, they just keep, even if you Wrath, it's just like, oh, well, here's...
Yeah, and even Rest in Peace doesn't really do... I mean, it does, but they usually are prepared for that. Like, if you look at the sideboard, it's probably got, like, Abrupt Decays and, Nature's Claim.
Which is actually just disgusting.
And 4 Thoughtseizes. So 4 Nature's Claim, 4 Thoughtseize, like... Get out of here.
Yeah, you have to basically, 1, be on the play, 2, which you don't want to be because, I mean, you lost game 1, and then also hope they don't have a Thoughtseize for your turn 2 Rest in Peace, because anything later than that, you're going to be in a world of hurt.
Exactly.
Moving on down the line, Bruno Cafaro into 4-1, and this is just good old-fashioned, actual factual Eldrazi-tron. I mean, Card of the Great Creator. I said it last week. This card is just so powerful. What lattice?
Well,
what's
now
lattice?
is this post ban?
Yes, it is.
Oh gosh, I can't believe people are still playing Eldrazi Tron when you can just play Tron. I don't like. It doesn't make sense to me. Like this, this is just the bad version of Tron, in my opinion.
Is it though? But because you
just have a bunch of lands that don't. You have a bunch of lands and spells that don't like get you to hitting Tron. So I don't know. I always feel much better about my position when they play like turn 1 like Blast Zone or turn 1 like Eldrazi Temple. I know like it accelerates their Eldrazi's obviously, but like we can probably deal with like Matter Reshaper or something.
Oh,
but
yeah.
Like turn 3 Karn is like really tough to beat. Like this is a winnable matchup. Tron sometimes doesn't feel winnable. I mean, in my opinion, in the shoes of blue-white.
This card right here, Chalice of the Void, can flip this. I think the matchup almost hinders on whether they have this card.
Have that on 2, yeah.
Because if they have it on 1 or 2, like you can't path any of their things. Like the Reality Smashers just kill you very quickly.
That's the tipping point for sure.
Yeah. Where Tron, we have so many resources now with things like Force of Negation and Force of Negation really is the card that kind of tipped the scales, in my opinion, on that matchup.
Sure, that makes sense.
But
it's just like every time I play against Tron, you do everything right. You like field their their Tron land. You keep them off mana. Sure, they'd keep hitting their land drops throughout the game because you're going long. And all of a sudden, they just start casting stuff from their hand instead of like Troning it out. And then you're like, well, I can't really deal with this.
Yeah.
Because I have like,
and then they cast Ulamog and the game ends. Yeah.
Exactly. I will say when I played Grixis Control, I always thought Scoured them because I ran Surgicals as well.
Nice.
So I thought Scour them and Surgical them on like turn 1 or 2, and then go about beating them down with Tazagir. But that's pretty far back.
Yeah. Moving on down the line, there's like Cornucopia, Tron. There's more.
Just a weird 3/2 list that more
Eldrazi, Tron, stuff like that. But there is another. What is it? Bant, basically, Bant Stoneblade. Very
it looks
similar.
Almost identical.
Yeah, very similar. So I think this is where you want to be if you're playing a blue-white X shell. I think that obviously Ice Fang is just very good. Arkham's Astrolabe has proved to be pretty much busted in every format.
Yeah, like if you want to play blue-white, play Spell Quellers, Snapcasters. Heck, you can even go Jeskai so you can snap bolts, bolt snap bolt.
Yeah,
probably the best combo in in Magic ever. But probably just go the Bant list, and then you can get some green sideboard cards. That's probably where you want to be, because the splash is so free. It's not even.
Oh yeah, it's not even close. With Arkham's Astrolabe, it's literally not even.
Like, even if you didn't have Astrolabe, it's just you have fetch lands and shock lands. Like it's insanely easy.
So that was maybe next time at 3/2. Maybe next time we have SWFF at 3/2, and it's a very similar list still. So this is Bant as well.
Right there on the fringe, like the tier 2 fringe, maybe making up to 1.5. I don't know. That's a little ambitious, but yeah, we'll stick with tier 2 for now until they can do some well.
So that was the Modern Preliminary from the 25th. If we want to go on over to the next one from the 24th, the day prior, we have
the old Sliver, baby.
Oh my gosh. Yes. Slivers in Modern.
Let's go.
One a preliminary. Just burn going. 420 with the 5-0.
Yeah, that's right. Oh, and the name is insane too.
Just
like
burn
that's who I envision playing Slivers and getting a 5-0.
Exactly.
Let's go.
Oh man. So yeah, I mean Cloud Shredder, Dreadscape, Frenetic's obviously insane. Yeah, I mean this deck is just wild, man.
Like, just go look it up yourself, because I don't know what half of these cards do, but I know they all work together.
Yeah, we are obviously. I will post the link, as I always do, to all of these decks that we're speaking about in the show notes. But
Unsettled Mariner really pushes us over the top.
I mean, obviously, this is the one.
My goodness, I could just name off all these cards and no one would know anything of what they did. So that's what's really, really great about this deck. Also, it has 4 Chalice of the Voids on the board, because why not?
How does Lotus Storm even beat Unsettled Manor? Like, that's the meta game choice I need to know.
It does it.
So at the here's a 4. So the other 4/1, or here's the first 4/1 rather. Now this is something that I would definitely play. I'm
all about this life right now.
Oh yeah,
like seriously.
So this is Timu at 4/1. This is blue red. I guess it's just Blue Moon is what we would call this.
It's Blue Moon.
4 snaps, 3 Thing in the Ice. That's it. That's all the creatures. We're not trying to kiki-jiki them. We're not trying to do any shenanigans with Through the Breach or anything like that.
Yep. Nothing cute. We're just here to win.
Nothing cute. We're just here to win. Exactly. 3 Archmage's Charm. I'm so glad that this card is seeing play. I have a foil one of these, and I'm so happy that it's seeing play.
Very nice. I would like to see more Force Negations personally, but that's up to the person building the deck. Also, Ral Zarek, is it Viceroy? I'm all about that life.
Oh my gosh. Let's go.
A 5-drop Planeswalker. Let's do it.
Yeah, and the fact that his middle ability deals damage equal to the instants and sorceries in your graveyard and exiled is really good synergy with Snapcaster Mage, obviously.
Yes,
So,
the exile portion of it. That's what I really liked about the new Ravnica set, is that they made exile matter so that like you weren't getting completely hosed. But I miss the old. I don't know if you remember the old version when it had Vendelican Shackles in it. That was my jam, man. That was my jam.
That
was when you can like steal a creep. You can steal a Tarmogoyf and win the game.
Steal their Goyf, and that was your win condition.
Yeah, basically. And now, like, you can't do that because Goyf is a terrible card in Modern. And
yeah, right. Moving on.
What's in the board, real quick? Let me look at the board.
Yeah. Go for it. So we have Ashiok's Flusterstorm. Because I mean, you gotta expect.
I forgot that card is in Modern now.
Yeah.
What?
You gotta expect Storm nowadays. And I guarantee folks are not preparing for Flusterstorm.
They're not ready for the Flusterstorm because, gosh dang, I forgot that got printed. Wow. Well, that's really good. I was like, is this a legacy? No, this is Modern.
Yeah, I mean, this deck is sweet. I would definitely play this.
Yep, 2 rejections. I like it a lot.
Yep. But yeah, moving on down the line. Jan H? I don't know. 4-1. Saheeli Cat combo. This is a deck I played in Standard a bunch, till it got banned.
I told you, man, spreading seas. It's the truth right now. I called it.
As a 4 of, yeah. 4 Saheelis, 2 Teferis, Felidar, CZ Peasy, Seasoned Pyromancer, Snapcaster, Serum Visions. We got 1 Force and Negation, 3 Bolts, 2 Helix, 4 Paths, 3 Remands. I mean, this deck just wants to kill you on as fast as possible.
Yeah, so I'm guessing like Seasoned Pyromancer, you just play it, discard 2 non-lands, and then get 2 1/1s, and then go about your day. So it's a 3-drop 2/2 that gets 2 1/1s.
And I'm sure
almost every time, right? I would assume.
And it's just like it digs you to the combo too, right? Like.
Well, it's right. Draws the cards. Yep, the red ability of drawing, discarding.
Yeah,
No, I like this card. I've actually never played with it, but it always looked really cool, and the artwork is like phenomenal as well.
Oh yeah, it's like young Pyromancer grew all up, and he's just like he's shredded now and has beautiful locks, like, and he went from common to mythic just like that.
That's right.
Another 4-1 here, 4-1 Timo J with the good old fashioned. I mean, this is Tron through and through. I
can appreciate the Emrakul Promised End because I always thought they should play more of that card. Like, I know they used to run 2 Ulamog's main. Look at that, running 2 Thragtusk main. What are they scared of?
Burn, man. You can't get Burn is like a horrendous matchup for.
I guess Burn's back, but Emrakul the Promised End, I've always questioned why that wasn't played as much.
Oh yeah,
but I could definitely see it one of for sure.
So yeah, it's 4 Karns, 2 Ugins. I mean, this is pretty typical. Make sure to go check this out if you're interested in it. This
will win you a lot of games. This will win you a lot of games.
I think if your meta has a lot of Tron, obviously you want more Force Negations. That card just kind of shuts this deck down almost 100%. Like, if you have it, you feel like you can't lose. So definitely, I mean, them playing Thragtusk is like. Really
and now we have the new card Whirlwind Denial. It's also a really, really good card. I don't know if you want to play it in your sideboard, but it's actually really good against Storm because it makes you pay 4 for every spell and ability on the stack, and that also goes along with Ulamog Ceaseless Hunger. So they have to pay an extra 4 for the creature and an extra 4 for the ability on that creature. So Whirlwind and Denial. Don't forget that card.
Oh yeah, that card is pretty good. So yeah, here we have oh goodness, this is another blue-green Titan deck. And then these are 3/2s now though, so I'm not going to talk about them too much. But we have that.
Did you skip over the red-black with Kroxa in it? I think you did.
Yeah. I mean,
Kroxa is like stupid
sweet.
Good.
Yeah, no, Kroxa is sweet. So yeah, this list, this is
so what
real.
Is this? Oh, this is like Mardu Pyromancer. It's back. It's back, boys.
I wouldn't go that far.
It's got lingering souls. It's Mardu Pyromancer.
No,
it's back.
It's definitely I don't know if I would say it's back though. But
Okay.
no, I
I
mean
can respect that, but Crocs
Crocs
is
is
pretty
sweet.
dope.
What's that?
I said Crocs is pretty dope. I don't
Oh
know
yeah.
if I feel like you want Bedlam Revelers at one point. Maybe like no, I don't know. It's tough. Like the Crocs basically just slots in where the Bedlam Revelers should be. So I guess they were just trying it out and they went 3-2. So maybe they want to put the Bedlam Revelers back in.
Yeah, right. And then
Maybe.
we've got more Eldrazi, Tron, Yama Killer with the 3/2, more Dredge. I mean, it seems like we're still not one to play blue white control in Modern. Like that would be my takeaway. If you're a fan of Modern and you are a fan of blue white control, personally, I would probably play this really sweet blue red moon deck that looks sick, or Bant if you must add forest to your deck and not be a blue white purist. I guess that's okay.
Yeah, because Blood Moon's really good against the Titans deck and what is it? Tron and stuff, and then blue white kind of is a little weak to it sometimes. So yeah. I don't know. Do you want to be? It's such a toss up because Modern's so big now. It's really tough, but the banning's definitely helped.
Oh yeah. So yeah, moving on, we're gonna switch gears here and head on over to Pioneer. There was in the Pioneer Challenge on the 19th, we had Wafo Tapa, Guillaume Wafo Tapa, the blue-white master. He's a legend.
Our Lord and Savior.
Yeah, Pro Tour Hall of Famer. Pro Tour Hall of Famer, Guillaume Wafo Tapa playing none other than, of course, blue-white control. And I'm sure that if he were to play this in paper, it would be completely foiled out because that's how he rolls.
Japanese. Japanese.
Oh, yep. yeah. Can't forget that. But yeah, I mean, this list is definitely a Wafo Tapa list. He has like 1 million draw spells. So I'm going to run through it real quick. We have Elspeth Sun's Champion as a one of, Narset Part of Veils, 3 Hero of Dominarias, 4 Verdicts, 4 Azorius Charms, 3 Censors, 2 Digs, 2 Vetoes, 3 Glimmer of Genius. So that's something that has kind of been on the outside looking in. But, I mean, Wafo Tapa loves his draw spells.
I like that more than Chemist's Insight personally, but go ahead.
Oh, yeah, for sure more than Chemisters.
Mm-hmm.
4 Ops, 4 Sinister Sabotage, 1 Sphinx's Revelation, which actually makes sense because as the Narsets are starting to see less and less play, just because of the like go wide meta we're in kind of in Pioneer. Mm-hmm. I mean, Narset's not that great, obviously, against creatures.
Yeah.
So Sphinx's Revelation makes a lot of sense. And then 1 Syncopate and 1 Cast Out. So, yeah, I mean, this list, I played it on stream, actually. And I would say play this deck. Don't just pick the 75 up and, like, go to a PTQ. You're going to have to get your reps with this deck because it is... Wafo Tapa is such a master. He's a metagame master. And he builds his decks for a specific tournament. And he has a specific play style where, obviously, we're only playing 5 Planeswalkers here. Personally, my favorite card type is Planeswalker. I love playing Planeswalkers. But he very much likes to say, land, go. That is like his play style.
Yes.
If your play style matches that, by all means, pick this up. But personally, there's a list that I played to very, very good success that we're going to talk about in a little bit that I would play over this. But definitely check this list out because, I mean, it won a challenge. Like, this is legit. This is actual, factual, concrete data here. Like, this is no, like, scrub tournament. There's, like, 130-plus people in these tournaments. Like, this is an actual tournament.
Yep.
So check this list out. He does have some really sweet cards in the sideboard, though. Descend upon the Sinful.
Jeez. Woo! Let's go.
For those
That's the way you do it.
For those that don't know, 4 white sorcery mythic, exile all creatures. But wait, there's more. Delirium, you get to put a 4/4 white angel token into the battlefield if there are 4 or more card types in your graveyard. Boy, this card seems sweet. This is a card I didn't even really think of.
He's only got 5 different card types, so that'll be very interesting to see how often that goes off.
Oh, yeah, I think he's probably just playing this for his next, his
just exile everything instead of destroy it. Yeah, that makes sense. There's my boy Dream Trawler.
And then we have we have 3 Dream Trawlers. So yes, is it better than Ojutai? I don't know. I'm not going to get into that argument, but I will say, is Ojutai seeing play right now in any formats? I'm just saying we have a 3 right here.
Good argument, because it's not.
It's definitely not. And then the last card I want to talk about before we move on to the second place deck, Aetherling. Yo, let's go as a 1-of in the sideboard.
Gosh, dude, I don't know how many of these I collected.
Oh man!
During that time frame, but I had I had an altered one, a foiled one. I had a whole page of foiled one actually, because they were so cheap, and I just it was the best win con besides. Well, now we have Dream Trawler, but personally, I think best blue-white win cons are probably like Elixir of Immortality, Aetherling, and now Dream Trawler. Those are my top 3.
I love it. I love Aetherling. I love the fact that Wafo Tapa is bringing it back to like 2014, 2015.
That's crazy.
I love it.
That's crazy.
So this is a list definitely, if you're looking at playing Pioneer Blue-White Control, this is a list you need to check out. Again, I like Planeswalkers. He's only playing 5. And basically, the way that this works is he only plays cards on his turn if he's ready to win the game, basically.
Yeah, basically.
Or to obviously get rid of a bunch of creatures with Supreme Verdict. But other than that, even Cast Out has Flash. So
that's true. It's true.
There's
I like that card a lot.
No Detention Spheres here, which has gotten criticism recently because it doesn't interact with opposing Detention Spheres, like in the Control Mirror, which is something, I will admit. But yeah.
Yeah, but it's like, apples, oranges. Yeah, I think Cast Out's just a better card in general.
But yeah, this list is sweet, man. I definitely think you gotta at least try this. If you have access to a Moto account, or just proxy it up, play it, give it a test, because it might be it's not my cup of tea personally, but I can definitely see the allure in just playing land go and just crushing your opponent on turn like 15 and finally resolving a Teferi. So moving on down the line, we have the second place deck, which is Charizard 92. And I mean,
this deck is spicy meatball right now. This is a spicy meatball.
So it's an Ensoul Artifact deck it's got Emeries, it's got, of course, Bomat Couriers, Ginger Brutes, Hanger Backwalkers, Hazoret the Fervent.
I'm all about this life right now. Royal Scions? Ooh.
Yep.
Ooh. The Stone Cold, my heartstrings a little bit there.
Stone Cold Steve Austin Serpent. Like, that card's big bummer for blue-white, because, like, none of our cards.
Can't Azorius Charm it. Gosh dang it.
Can't Detention Sphere it. Can't Teferi it.
The new version of blue white does have a lot more answers to it. I will say that.
Oh yeah. So then, yeah. I mean, this list is dope.
This is sweet.
Yeah. I mean,
this is like, yeah.
Well, I was just gonna say, if you're looking to play like an aggro deck, man, this thing gets you good, because you play turn 1 Bomat and then you Ensoul it.
Whew, let's go.
And then it plays Shrapnel Blast. Like, if they try to interact, you just instant speed, sack my thing.
Right?
Do you have a counter?
That's nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm in.
And then in third place, we have good old-fashioned this card just came out, it feels like. But 5-color Niv to light.
I heard this deck was, like, starting to pick up steam and, like,
it's very good.
Win a lot of stuff, and it seems really good, but it's really, really bad against blue-white control. So
yeah,
if you're playing blue-white, you have a good matchup.
Basically, counter their Niv Mizzet Reborn, and you probably won't have any issues. But I mean, this deck
they do run Teferis though, so that is a bit of a hindrance. But I mean, I don't know. They really don't do anything besides like cast Niv Mizzet and maybe Siege Rhino. Everything else is just like, I mean, for the most part, they're trying to tap out every single turn. So if you have sensors in your deck, you're probably good.
Yeah, I really love Sensor right now. But yeah, I mean, this deck is very good. This is one of the, I would say at this point, it is one of the pillars of Pioneer.
It's a flavor. I think it's a flavor of the month deck. I don't know. I wouldn't call it a pillar yet.
I don't know, man.
I don't know. It seems flavor of the monthy.
It's putting up really good results.
Yeah.
And then another one here in fourth. This is another different version too. Has a lot more planeswalkers.
I like the Nahiri version more than the not Nahiri version.
So is this trying to go and get something, or is it just like playing it to draw?
You can just go get your Scarab God. You can go get your Niv-Mizzet, and it's just drawing you cards every turn too. It's just a big value engine, and you have the exile enchantment artifact or creature that's tapped.
Yeah, no, I love Nahiri, but I'm just curious if we're trying to go get, if we're like, our plan is to ultimate, or if we're just like using it as a value engine.
Yeah, I mean, you can go get Blood Baron and stuff out, like once you bring it in from the sideboard, but I mean, it's just value. You're discarding and drawing cards, and then you get to go get your Niv-Mizzet to draw like 4 or 5, 6 cards maybe.
Oh yeah.
So that's like super value, but I like that more.
And then
Cut to Ribbons. What?
Oh my god.
Wowzer.
Cut to Ribbons is sweet, and boy, if you ever get Ribbons, if you've ever been Ribbons, you know how bad it feels. And there are points
staring at it in their graveyard, like, I hope they miss it. I hope they forget about it.
Yeah, they never do. So here in fifth place, Yuyan with a deck that's near and dear to my personal, just me, because I love me some Lotus Field. This is, I mean, come on, Fast as Oracle. Did we really need to print that card, Wizards of the Coast? Like,
that card is the best win con I've ever seen. It's like a better Laboratory Maniac at this point.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I do like the Underworld Breaches in the deck. Underworld Breach, if I could just go off on a little tangent. Well, not really a tangent, but
sure, go for
Underworld Breach is one of those really great cards that everyone thinks is a combo card, when in reality you can play it in literally anything. So like, say you have a blue-red deck that's like a control deck, just toss 1 or 2 in, and then later on down the road, like say they kill your Chandra, Awakened Inferno, and then like, you're doing stuff, and then you can just play Underworld Breach, and then you can cast it from your graveyard.
Oh yeah, I mean, it's definitely you can play it as a value card too. Yeah,
like, you don't have to play it in the combo deck. You can play it in like a Jund deck or blue-red or Jeskai, just to like recast. Like, one turn you can recast maybe 2 Planeswalkers, or maybe like a Planeswalker and a spell. I don't know. Just, there's more things you can do with it besides these awesome combo decks. Is all I'm saying.
One thing though that I have to say, Chronic Flooding, really? This is the card that tipped. Here's the water cup, and we're just like filling the cup with water, and we're tipping it over now. Chronic Flooding is the card that made this deck just like actually very strong. This deck's sweet. I definitely want to play this on stream. It looks so.
I mean, it's a better Drown Yard, basically, right?
Oh yeah,
like
sure.
That's just so silly. Like, I remember, man, because that's the first set that I ever started playing Magic in, like, and started doing drafts.
Yeah.
And like, I loved grabbing this card, man. I remember just opening tons of packs of RTR and like boxes of it, and just seeing this card. So it's like pretty nostalgic to see like this symbol and this like this card and stuff.
The art's really good too. Yeah. Oh man, so this is something that I don't know. I want to play this. This deck looks.
It's good. You're just like hanging out, just milling yourself, and then you're just like, oh, I guess I'll go off. Plus, you can mill yourself and then untap all your lands. And we have Wolf Willowhaven, another great card from Theros that's jumping on in here. Again, something else to put on your lands to make them do things. Pretty crazy.
How crazy is it that Fast as Oracle and Underworld Breach were in the same damn set? Like,
I mean,
we didn't.
They said that they messed up on
Sorry, guys, we did it again.
They messed up on Throne of Eldraine with the power level. Yeah, they messed up on the Throne of Eldraine power level, and they're like, by the way, we also worked on these other sets, so prepare for some really broken cards. Although Theros doesn't seem as broken, because like the power is like, it's pretty even. It's not like here's Oko and then here's the rest of the set.
Yeah, right.
Like, this one is kind of like they're all kind of teetering as far as like rare power level, I think. That's pretty funny.
So in sixth place, we have Danny M. Rebel. At least that's how I'm reading it. With just good old-fashioned blue-white...
Flyers.
Yeah,
blue-white
Flyers.
Got the Eagle.
Change. This is basically Spirits, but yeah, it's of course playing Empyrean Eagle.
That's true. Yeah, it's a Spirits deck. But I mean, the Eagle is also a Spirit, which pumps your Flyers, and everything's a Flyer. So it's funny because it doesn't have any removal besides Spell Queller. So it's like a little light, but I can definitely see it like snowball pretty fast.
This deck is probably just horrendous on the back foot, but like very, very hard to beat if it's just the aggressor the entire time.
Yeah, if they're on the play, they're gonna win. If they're on the draw, they're gonna lose. Basically,
Yeah.
like that's like where you're at. I don't know. Brazen Borrower can kind of bring you back. Like Brazen Borrower into Spell Queller is like super tempo.
Yeah, this is definitely a deck that blue-white control can struggle against because they have Curious Obsession on a 1-drop. Like Spectral Sailor is another card that, like, if you let it live, it's just going to draw you out of it. They're going to just have way more cards than you late game.
Yeah.
Of course, Selfless Spirit's nuts. It's just completely nukes your Supreme Verdicts. That's why I have been liking one of Settle the Wreckage. Now,
true. I like the one of in the main. I like one in the board too, to be honest. Like I like, covering just both my bases.
Yeah.
Luckily, this sideboard is more like of a control sideboard.
Yeah.
I've seen other lists that run like Eidolon of Rhetoric, and the other Eidolon that like has a Narset ability, and the other one that has like a Rule of Law ability on top of it.
Mm-hmm.
So like you can just keep putting pressure on the board, because I think the Eidolon of Rhetoric is the one you can't cast more than one spell or something.
Yeah.
And then the other one is you can't draw more than one card or something.
Yeah.
And then like the one that you can't draw more than one card is a 3/1. So like
it beats.
You can't draw any cards, and then they're smacking you for 3, and then you play the other guy that you can only play one spell a turn. So they completely lock you out, and then they're hitting you, in the air. So I've seen those versions that are really, really good and really annoying for blue-white, and then these ones which have like Dolan's Vetoes and Disdainful Strokes. So like I guess both of them are really terrible for blue-white, but basically just want to have more mystical disputes than they do.
Yeah, and it
all comes down to.
It's just like Rattle Change makes it to where they're playing at the end of your turn, and it's just like it creates really bad play patterns that you don't want to be, that you're forced into, basically.
Yeah.
So I think this is
only. Okay, go ahead. Sorry.
No, I was just saying I think this is like and I kind of just reiterating, but I think this is a list this is an archetype that you have to have on your mind when you're constructing your deck.
Yeah, I guess just keep an eye on your local meta. If you see a couple of people starting to play this, definitely jam 4 mystical disputes in your board, because this is basically the standard equivalent of blue green flash. In a sense, like where blue green flash, if you have some mystical disputes early, you can get ahead of them and get a spell down. But like this deck, if you don't have mystical disputes against this deck, you're probably gonna lose, to be honest. Like, because like Dolan's Vetoes don't really do anything, because they're all creatures.
Yeah.
You need to like open up a window for yourself instead of playing spells strategically, because they're just gonna dismantle you. You gotta basically bust the door open.
Yeah.
with mystical dispute and then land it to fairy.
Definitely one of those death by 1,000 cuts types of decks, because I mean, Supreme Verdict's not even that good against this deck. Obviously, if they don't have Selfless Spirit in play, Supreme Verdict's great, but man, they have it. Just expect it.
They always have it.
That's the thing, is like you can't look at, and this is just like general speaking, you can't look at your best case scenario and your opponent's worst case scenario. You have to look at all things equal, and all things equal, I think this is a very this can be a rough matchup.
I think it's like 70-30 for them.
Yeah, which is
for the most part.
Not want those odds.
If you're more deep into like mystical disputes, I think you're 60-40 then, but like they're on the winning side of it almost every time, unless you're like either get really lucky or you just outplay the hell out of them.
Yeah, definitely.
Although Monastery Mentor is pretty good against this deck, just saying.
Oh yeah, I'm a fan of Mentor. So then here in 7th we have Kelmaster P with Chonky Red. So this is the deck that is kind of being touted as the best deck in the format right now. Big red, chonky red.
Now they added cut to ribbons.
Now we haven't cut to ribbons. Like,
gosh dang it! Stop realizing there's better cards out there than shock.
So of course we're playing Chandra, Torture Defiance, Bone Crushers, Glory Bringers, Chain Whirlers, or Kindling Phoenix, which is really annoying. Scrap Heap, which is of course, I mean, that's a new piece of tech. Soul Scar Mage, Abrade, Wild Slash, Heart of Kieran. Heart of Kieran's super annoying.
Possibly think of in like a perfect curve. So
yeah, I mean, this is
good luck with that one.
This is a very good deck, and longtime blue-white control player Harry or Harry MTG actually won a challenge with this was it last week? I think maybe 2 weeks ago.
Probably.
So if he's playing that, it might be just correct. Sometimes you just gotta kind of say, let's try and play the best deck and see how we do.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with that.
This is the kind of deck where you really like the sensors because they're trying to curve out.
Oh, yeah.
And if you make them think that you have a sensor and take off a turn, that's when you can maybe get ahead of them a little bit. Maybe land a spell that they can't kill. But I mean, they have like haste creatures and Rekindling Phoenix stuff, so it's going to be really tough. But definitely pack your sensors because on turn 4 they're jamming Chandra or they're jamming Rekindling Phoenix almost every single time. So that's when it's going to be really good.
Yeah, and I mean, a Resolve Chandra, Torch of Defiance is just like, oof.
Yeah, you need cast out like ASAP. Yeah.
Yeah. So
if you want to run a lot of cast outs, this deck isn't as bad of a matchup because red can't get rid of enchantments, but that's how I beat it when I played against like blue. You remember that blue red emerge deck that showed up for like a couple weeks? Well, they ran Brazen Borrowers and Chandra Torch of Defiances, so like the two cast outs pretty much won me the game. Just kind of bouncing them back and forth and stuff. But yeah, you want your cast outs and you want your sensors for sure.
Oh yeah. And then in the eighth spot, we have Theo Young playing good old fashioned mono black aggro. This deck the deck that won't die.
The deck, it will never die. now instead of the copters, they're like, we'll just play Spawn of Mayhems because they cost 3 mana.
Yep.
I love it. It's so
really
good.
Yeah, I mean, this deck, Thoughtseize, name a better duo. Thoughtseize and Fatal Push. Like, name a better duo. They are still the two best, our top played cards in the format.
And then they got these flex spots in Spawn of Mayhem, Ultimate Price, and Grasp of Darkness, so they can really go either more removal heavy or they can add more creatures, so they have like a lot of flexibility, especially coming out of the board. Like they can just drop 2 ultimates in a grass to grab like 2 Ether Sphere Harvesters and a Liliana Last Hope or something. Like it's a pretty flexible. They have 4 self-inflicted wounds. Man, do I miss that card. Whew. in like Esper Dragons. Ooh, that was a good card.
Oh yeah. And then of course Castle Lochwain keeps them just keep on chugging in the mid to late game, and then Mutavault's just like impossible to deal with. Like
it's the same in standard right now. Like these mono black decks are running like 4 Castle Lochwain, so like you can counter all their stuff, get completely ahead, and then they just gas right back up. It's so annoying, but the card is so good.
Yeah, I mean, so it's really annoying. And actually, moving on to the next, so this is from the 25th.
Mm-hmm.
We have another preliminary here in Pioneer. This is in first place.
Mono black, baby.
This is Jose Cabezas, 5-0. Yeah, I mean, this is very
the deck's
similar.
good. The deck's good.
Insanely good. Grasp of Darkness is seeing play because of Dragon. So
so like compared to like the last list, it's exactly the same, except the last list ran 1 Grasp and 2 Ultimate Price, and this one's running 1 Ultimate Price, 2 Grasp. So it's super, super similar, like very slight differences.
Oh yeah.
I'm sure the sideboards are almost identical as well. 2 Ether Sphere Harvesters, Duress, Kalitas, and Self-Inflicted Wound.
Yep.
Yeah, it's just super good.
I mean, this deck's just it's pretty much been good.
Yeah.
The entire time that Pioneer's been a deck.
Mm-hmm.
And then in the 4-1 slot we have MD Vayu 2. Sorry if I'm butchering that, but we have this is basically just good old fashioned spirits again. So
a mirror of what we were looking at before. I think these are kind of hammering themselves out as probably the best decks. I mean, this next one isn't really.
This one's spicy, man.
This is a spicy meatball right here.
Mono blue splash green.
Wizards,
man. Yeah, we've got.
It's kind of like a wizard merfolk thing, because like, what is it?
It's kind of just like devotion too.
Yeah,
this thing's just an amalgamation of. So we've got Brazen Borrowers, Cavalier of Gales, Gadwick. Oh my! I love that. I love the fact that Gadwick isn't. I mean, it adds 3 devotion.
It's like kind of a devotion deck.
You could play this on curve, not draw a card, and still get value out of Gadwick because its passive ability is just like very good.
Yeah. Also, Essence Flux. Like, can we just talk about Essence Flux for 2 seconds, because this card is bonkers.
Oh yeah.
with Master Waves, it's hilarious.
Master Waves and Cavalier of Gales, like.
Oh my gosh, it's a.
And of course, we're playing a Thassa Deep Dwelling to bounce said Cavaliers and Harbinger Tide, Master Waves, Tricksters, Risen Weaves.
Thassa is like one of the best cards in the set, and I'm still trying to figure out how to like make her work, but I know she's like just bust.
She's nuts. I was
and
playing
I need to figure it out. That doesn't include, Risen Reef.
Jeskai Fires in Standard was what I was doing, and she was completely nutty. Like bouncing Cavaliers is just nuts with her.
Oh my goodness. And you can tap stuff down. With the extra mana. Oh baby. I'm gonna have to go to the laboratory.
Yeah.
This one.
Thassa's Oracle. Of course, this card's just like it's gonna be everywhere.
There it is.
We're gonna see it everywhere.
I'm pretty sad we don't see any Frostburn weirds, but that's just like
that's
nostalgic.
Old school, man. Yeah.
I want to see at least one of them in there just cause.
In the sideboard here, we've got Agent of Treachery. What is this? Tidebinder Mage. These are old school. I like
that card a lot.
Okay, so here we have one that was the big hype. This was the big hype coming into the format.
Let's see.
Brunster 4/1. This is the good old fashioned, not good old fashioned because it's brand new. This is Heliod, Walking Ballista, Mono White Devotion, Getcha. We have a Johnny's Pride Mate, Anafinza, Treekin Spirit, Daxos, Blessed by the Sun, Gisela. I mean, this deck looks pretty spicy. I think and I hope Walking Ballista gets banned, but that's for personal reasons. I don't know if this deck's actually good enough. But
yeah, it's just like just an aggro deck with Walking Ballista combo in it.
Yeah, this has like a
I think once they start like branching off into like maybe like Jeskai style or something, maybe then we can see the power of it. Like instead of doing the Felidar combo, you do this. But this also takes more steps to happen. Like first you gotta play Heliod.
Yeah.
Then you gotta cast Walking Ballista. Then you have to activate Heliod to make it work. Whereas like this Felidar combo, you're like, I'll place a Healy and I'll play Felidar combo.
Yeah.
Or Felidar Guardian minus. Okay.
It's
like you're taking one extra step and you're taking an extra 3 mana.
Yeah.
So you're doing 3 mana, 2 mana is 5, and then another 2 mana. So 7 mana altogether.
It just seems kind of extra.
Yeah. Too many, like one extra step. It's the same mana cost if you were going to do, Felidar plus Healy, right? I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, I get it though. You want to try out the new stuff. Like this is a deck that
It's probably really good. It's like you want to be aggressive, so you're just beating them down, and then all of a sudden you have like a combo that just kills on the spot. Like that seems good.
Oh yeah.
Seems good.
Fizzle 4/1. Mono green. I mean, mono green beat your face in basically. Great Hinge. This deck is, I think this deck's just.
It's got Rotting Regisaur. Woo, baby. Big boy.
So we are splashing black here for Rotting Regisaur, but this deck just wants to beat your face in as quick as possible, basically. Galta, which obviously they can play insanely early. Ronus, Scrap Heap, Steel Leaf, Sirach Hunt Caller, like this. Get ready to
a
lot
of stuff going on here for sure.
Yeah, you got to wrath the board early and often.
But you also have the black mana in there for like ley lines and self-inflicted wounds in the board, so you're covering that basis of it. Where mono green is like pretty weak.
Yeah.
So I kind of like what they're doing with it because it's such a light splash, and you have the Shadow Spear to give it trample. So look out.
Oh yeah, and Great Hinges. I played with this on stream. It was like green red. Green Red Adventures and Great Hinge, just like that card. Once it starts going, man, buddy, that card is a house. And then we have Arillo here with good old fashioned mono black aggro. Getcha. Actually, it looks almost identical to the one that won. That's wild.
Yeah, I mean, like that. We're gonna see that with
they're playing drill
lists.
bits in the side.
That's funny.
So that's a little bit different, but
that's funny.
And then we have
then another Flyers list,
spirits, Yama Killer with the 4/1. And then another, we have another one. So here's another blue-white spirits at 4/1 by Wise Nesty. And then, yeah, I'm just kind of going over these because
Yeah, they're pretty. I mean, everything's going to be pretty repetitive
stock.
at this
Yeah.
point. There's the Ginger Brew deck and there's the Flyers deck. Like, we're going to see a lot of repetition moving forward now that these lists have been hammered out a bit. I think Blue Eye Control is still in a really good spot, even though we haven't seen it at all.
Yeah.
But if you notice, it's all like aggro decks, like mono white aggro. You have the black green aggro deck. You have Spirits, which is really aggressive. You have mono black. So now that there's like an established meta of these aggro decks, now we can
start to sculpt the correct. Yeah.
Exactly. Probably just take 3-mana Teferis out completely.
So here's well, I don't
It's close, maybe like 1 or 2. It's just like they're so
4's probably not correct anymore. But here's Cure Katana at 4/1. This is blue white control. We have Elspeth, Sun's Champ. We have 3 Teferi and 3 little Teferi, 4 Supremes, 3 Absorb, which is odd to me, but okay. 2 Sensors, 4 Dig Through Times, which is
that's a lot. Wow,
that is so many. That is all of them. Thirst for Meaning. So that's a card that's been popping up. Of course, Skur has been loving that card with his enchantment heavy build. And then we have 2 Detention Spheres and 4 Sealaways. I think playing
big fan of Sealaways.
More Sealaways seems correct right now too.
Yep, big fan of Sealaways.
And then in the board we have 4 Mystical Disputes, a Sky Tether. So this is a 1-mana white enchantment. Enchanted creature has Defender and loses flying, so that's a kind of a
pretty funny little
that's an oust style card, I guess. That might be a
very true.
And it works with Thirst for Meaning, so there's some synergy there. I don't hate Sky Tether.
Yep, so does Rest in Peace. Yeah. It feels good. Everything works together.
Yeah, I'm a fan. So yeah, that is all we're going to talk about for the Pioneer Preliminary from the 25th. The very, very last thing that I did want to talk about on tonight's episode is a list by the Modern. I mean, he's a blue-white god, basically, in Modern. This is Doom Switch's. This is Doom Switch's list. This is a list that I played on stream. So I am streaming every single day in January. But this list is extremely good. I know it's such a very small sample size, but I've been crushing with it. He's changed it up a little bit here. He went 6-2 at the the Super Showcase or whatever you want to call it.
Something like that. I definitely I like the list. I like the 4 Supreme Verdicts, 1 Settle. That's a big thing for me. I don't know if you need 3 Teferis, but I'm gonna let that go for him because he's well experienced in this deck. But the Thassa's Intervention is really, really nice.
He's extremely good at being able to nail down blue-white control decks. His original list was playing 4 Fabled Passage. This one's only playing 2. He has broken up the split of 2 and 2 of the castles. Now it's 3-1 towards Ardenvale.
Yeah, you just want to make tons of tokens. I don't think you really need the Ardenvales. They never really come up because your mana is always so strained, and if it's not, you want to be making creatures. Yeah. So that definitely makes sense.
And then his sideboard has changed just a little bit. We still have Rest in Peace, Seal Away, Aether Gust, Dovin's Veto, Elspeth Sun's Champion alongside Elspeth Sun's Nemesis in the main deck, and then 2 Dream Trawlers and a Summary Dismissal. Summary Dismissal is almost a must against the ramp decks because they start playing Ulamogs and they start playing all their Eldrazi's, and then we just get crushed and just cannot recover. I definitely like and suggest Summary Dismissal. But the one card I do want to kind of talk about, Elspeth Sun's Nemesis. This card, and I said it a little bit before, I really like it. I know, some people that are better Magic players than I do not like this in blue-white control. But from my experience, you can win from out of nowhere. If you have 1 or 2 tokens in play and you have Elspeth still at 1 loyalty, you can, late game.
Oh, that's an Elspeth, yep. I thought it was a Settle, yeah.
Oh, no, this is Elspeth Sun's Nemesis right here, yeah. You can uptick, make your dudes +3/+2, then escape it, do it again, and just Alpha Strike them and kill them out of nowhere. It happens so many times when I was playing this deck, or a slight. I mean, probably 70 of the 75 cards, right? So
sure,
essentially the same deck.
No, I like that a lot. That's pretty nuts.
I don't know what else to say. It's just, try it. Before you knock it, you got to try it, because
gotta try it.
Every mode is relevant too. It's at its worst, it's kind of an overcosted timely reinforcements, right?
Sure.
You make a couple dudes, you gain 5 life.
Yeah. Do it again, maybe.
Do it again, maybe.
Or you can pump up your dream trawlers or something. I don't know if you keep Elspeth in no matter what, or how that sideboarding works, but I'm sure we'll figure that out eventually.
Yeah, right. But then at its best, and I said this earlier, it's Thanos, man. It is inevitable. You're going to just keep recasting it over and over again and either create so many blockers or gain 5 life that they're not going to be able to kill you. And eventually you'll draw something. You'll draw your Teferi, or you'll cast a gigantic Thassa's Intervention. And
exactly. Yep. And that'll be in game over basically much.
Yeah. I'm a fan, though.
Yep,
if you take nothing else away from this episode, take the fact that you need to at least try Elspeth Sun's Nemesis main deck.
Get out there and craft yourself an Elspeth Sun's champion in Arena, or go borrow it. I don't know. It's really good.
But yeah, man, that is basically all the time we have for this episode. Thank you, Ron, TimeWalkTV. If you want to kind of do your little spiel, and then we can I can close it up.
My little spiel.
Yeah, where can people find you on the internet, basically?
Where can people find me? My name is Ron. I do a YouTube channel and a Twitch stream, I guess, TimeWalkTV. Make gameplay videos on YouTube and stream basically the same thing on Twitch from Monday through Thursday, 12 a.m. to 4 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. So if you want to come hang out, have a good time, play some Arena. I mainly play Arena. I don't play any Magic Online or anything. So if you want to play Arena, well, this is definitely the place to go see me. But got a lot of stuff going on. But that's basically the main spots where you want to go find me.
And all of your information will be in the show notes, of course.
Awesome.
And, of course, everyone who's been watching or listening, thank you. I do appreciate it. You know, I put a lot of time and effort into the podcast, of course. If you dig the content, again, go over to Apple Podcasts, give me a 5-star review. It really does go a long way with helping out all the analytics and stuff that I'm not too privy to. And if you dig the content, of course, the best way to support me is over on my Patreon. That'll all be in the show notes. Again, shout out to John, Bob, and Joel on the new patrons. We're $6 away from the next goal, which is mind-blowing to me. Thank you, everybody.
Get out there. Get that patron money flowing. Next year.
It's wild, man. It's wild. But yeah, if you're on YouTube watching this, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. And as always, spread some Azorius propaganda, and more importantly, be kind to one another. Have a great night.